Hello, Shiloh Ward. I miss you. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a long time since I've seen you and since you've seen me, and I've grown some whiskers here recently. It's not permanent. It's just one of those things. Many of us have seen our normal routines upended and changed in large or small ways recently, and for me, that just happened to be shaving over the last few days. I've kind of started to think about this as my Adam beard, not because of Adam from the Garden of Eden, but because of this guy. That's Adam Pontopy from Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. It's a show that I grew up watching as a kid. This movie musical takes place in the 1850s, growing up, it was just something I watched a lot. Now looking back on it, there's some strange elements to that show, but I was thinking about it because, well, for one, the seven brothers in it all have beards at one point. They live in this sort of backwoods homestead, separated from the rest of their community at the time. And during the show, they end up cut off from the rest of the people by an avalanche, and they have to wait out the winter. And I've been thinking that, we're all kind of going through a somewhat similar experience right now where, while there's not an avalanche cutting us off, there's this sort of invisible barrier that by in a voluntary way, we are all keeping ourselves from the rest of the experiences and people that we would interact with normally. While the avalanche in Seven Brides for Seven Brothers had a pretty definite timeline around it. When spring came, the snow would thaw and those roads would be cleared. We don't know the timeline of the future of our current situation. I was so grateful to be able to join with you and so many others this past Friday in fasting and prayer to petition the Lord that miracles might be wrought in behalf of so many of his children who are being affected by the current pandemic. I'm so grateful that today is Easter. I hope that you all enjoyed a wonderful and happy Easter. Hope is a word that, for me, is at the center of all things that have to do with Easter. We have hope for a better world. We have hope for healing and forgiveness through the atonement of Jesus Christ. Hope that we can have the strength to forgive others, to be kind and generous and do the things that the Lord would have us to do in following his example, and that we might be empowered to do so through his atonement. And perhaps most of all this day, we have hope for our own resurrection because of the atonement and resurrection of Jesus Christ, that we can receive a perfected body reunited with our spirit, no longer to taste of death, of pain, of sickness, and of all of the maladies that we might face or our loved ones might face in this life. It's hard for me to put my feelings about this into words adequately, but I have linked in the comments to this video to a video that the church put together several years ago that brings me such joy and such peace and feelings in my heart of gratitude for the Lord and his atoning sacrifice. I hope that you might be able to spend a couple minutes viewing that, and it will lift your heart as it has mine this day. Again, I hope you had a happy Easter, and we love and miss you, and we'll see you again soon.